Good morning. Time for CNFT to go over how levels are picked on the E-mini. And what we really spend a lot of time doing is putting the market action into context. And context involves a lot of things. It involves the market's long-term direction, how news can impact that direction in the trading today, and where are support and resistance. And we go from the long-term support and resistance to the short-term support and resistance, and we adjust in favor of the short-term. Why? Because it's the information most recent in the market's memory. And somebody's going to remember a support or resistance point from yesterday before they'll remember for the week, before they'll remember for the month. So that's the adjustment. So when we take a look at our F1 screen, which is our cap flow screen, we're looking at a P, got another P right here, another P right here, and you can see that the market is having a very, very difficult time trading below 30. This breakout came from 20, so this 20 to 30 area is pretty good support. Now we've got 4-point increments right here, so there's a lot of rounding error. We have resistance at 50, 54. So we've got support 30 on the long-term chart, plus or minus a couple, and we've got resistance at 54, plus or minus a couple off of the screen. Now this is big picture stuff. This is the overall organizing screen where we come and look at the screen. Do I want to be long or short? And I can look at this and say, I want to be long. And I know if I trade from the long side, I've got more time to deal with a trade or not. So this is where the large institutions have to play because they can't get their orders filled without adversely affecting their price. It's not very efficient for them. So we go to the F2 screen, and coming in this morning, this is what we were looking at right here. So I know that I have support in the 30 area off the long-term charts, plus or minus 2. There's 4-point rounding in that, and I know I've got resistance at 54, plus or minus. And I know that I generally want to be long. I want to favor the long side. So when I come in the morning, right here, based on yesterday's action, I've got a value area low, a value area high, and this is at 40, and that's at 48. I've got market numbers at 45, at 40. It's my second hit at 40. I've got a market number at 35. I've got support at 38. I've got support at 35. I've got support down here in the 31, 32 area. And I've got support over on this side in the 30 area, and it's a low volume number, plus it's a market number. So I've got 2 hits right here. So coming in this morning at 5 a.m., which would put me in this time period right here, V, my eye catches 40. Got an in rotation to 42. I've got the Globex opening at 43. So 40 to 43 is potential resistance. Right here, I've got an M period high at 44. I've got an LK high at 46. And I've got a high at 48, then yesterday's high at 51. Now, because the S&P tends to get stops below Globex highs and lows and above and below yesterday's highs and lows, I kind of count on that. I mean, it's just the personality or the behavior of this market. So coming in my Y period, which is a split right here, I've got a low at 37. So right now when I come in and take a look at this, I've got 35, that's 1. I've got a market number, that's 2 hits. I've got this V period low at 36, that's 3. I've got this low at 38, that's 4. I've got this low at 35, that's 5 data points that come across, plus the high volume number. So I've got 6 hits at 35, plus or minus. Down here at 30, I've got 1. I've got a market number, that's 2. I come over here, I've got this 31 to 32, so that's 3. Got an R period low here at 30, that's 4. So I've got 4 hits right here. So this 30 area, potential support, resistance, and this was the preferred buy area because it's a low volume number. I know high volume numbers can be support or resistance the first time hit, but low volume numbers are what we shoot for. But first, I've got to get through this high volume area. So when I came in this morning, I said I wanted to be a buyer at 30 to 32. That was my buy level. But I put a question mark at 35. I said if we don't get through 35, then we've got to take the long side. I sell, I had a choice right here, and early in the session 40 did hold. So based on structure, this is 1 and this is 2. So because getting stops above this ledge, I thought that was possible. So I kind of like the 44, 46 area right here. So that was my sell 1, and my sell 2 was up at 50. So this is where the levels came from. So cleaning this up a little bit, a question mark, 1, definitely here, 2. On the sell side, a question at 40, and 2 right there, and then 3. So when the market opened, number 1 held. We just blew right to 40. This was our number 1 recommended sell recommendation. That's where we actually had a sell recommendation, and this was sell 2. Because our number 1 spot held, our trading target was 50, and we did manage to trade up to 50. So what you'll see when you take a look at where these points come from, you're looking for multiple hits at a particular number or area. And it can be high, low. It can be value area, high, low. It can be mode, mean. It can be single prints. It can be double prints. There's a lot of stuff that comes in. And what you'll do is you'll eyeball it and say, well, gee, I got 6 hits here, and I've got 4 hits here, and I've got 1, 2 hits here. I've got 1, 2, 3 hits in this area, and I got a lot of stuff that starts to come together at 50. So you just kind of eyeball it, F1, direction, F2, levels, and we're trying to buy less than or equal to value, and we want to sell greater or equal to value. And that's how we put it together. So that's where my levels come from on the E-mini as of November the 20th, 2014. I'll open it up for questions now. Okay, part 2, CNFTs, how levels are determined for the E-mini on 11/20/2014. Okay, we came in, we had a potential buy at 35. We thought that the market would get stops below the Globex low, and that's just what happens in this market. And I thought that the market would get stops above this first little ledge right here in the Globex session where the spill from London came. We had a sell 44 to 46, and we had a sell 49 to 51. We had hoped to buy 30 to 32s, but we said we might have to get long in this 35 area right up in here. So this was a high volume level. High volume numbers are pretty good support and resistance the first time hit in go with type contracts. We had this as a potential support level, that is a potential support level, this area is a potential support level, and then over here we had this FG low, we had this R low down here, and we had this low volume number at 30.32. So our number 1 level held. If our number 1 level holds, we should make it to our number 2 level on the resistance side, and that's pretty much what happens. So F1, direction, F2, levels. The idea to get a level is so you can buy below value and sell greater than value. This is our long-term advantage. We consistently buy below value. We got a chance to make money. If we can consistently sell above value, we have a chance to make money. And it turns out that our number 1 level at 35 did hold. We liked the long side from F1. We continue to like the long side from F1. This market's going higher with or without fundamental support. This morning's fundamental news actually was a little bit supportive for the indexes, but they sold. The 10 a.m. news was very supportive, and the market rallied off of that. So I do an M split. Then I do a Y because that's when our financial markets, gold, currencies open. And I do a B split for the E-mini.